Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. The name is Lawrence if this is your first time here. And I want to say that if you have not joined the family by subscribing to this channel, I encourage you to subscribe to be part of the family, yes, so that you can receive updates of what is taking place right in the church and also outside of the church. So today, I just wanted to give you an update concerning what is taking place right at the GC Council meeting. All right. So the GC Executive Secretary actually made a statement, I think, yesterday that actually caught my attention. And I realized that what the Executive Secretary said was the truth.
An increasing proportion of residents in New Zealand declares no religion affiliation. In 1991, they were just 20.2%. Today, they are 53.3%. As you have heard earlier in the statistical report, New Zealand has one of the most challenging baptism-to-member ratio in the world. This is a huge post-Christian window in SPD. If we think in the inter-European division, the Czech Republic is one of the greatest post-Christian challenges that we have. The religious identity has changed drastically in the country since the first half of the 20th century, when more than 90% of the population at that time identified themselves as Christians. Today, the Christians are only 12% of the country. In the UD, is also located a city called Naples in Italy, where we have the highest population-to-member ratio in Europe, with 21,000 people per church member. In the Trans-European division, around 90% of Greece's population identifies as Orthodox, but the country is experiencing a remarkable shift towards secularism, particularly among younger generations and urban populations. It reflects wider European post-Christian trends. You know, studies indicate that 30% of Greeks consider themselves secular or non-religious. Athens has the fourth highest population-to-member ratio of any European city, with almost 12,000 population per church member. And when we finish focusing on the urban window, the situation is also very challenging, because look at that, 55% of the world population is concentrated in the cities, and 80% of the global wealth comes from these areas. People are very concentrated. You can see how agglomerated they are. It is a great challenge, but also a huge opportunity for our mission. In the Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division, Johannesburg is one of the greatest challenges, but Durban, the port city at the tip of Africa, is even greater challenge based on the available data. It has 3.3 million population and only a little bit more than 1,300 Adventists, for a ratio of 1 Adventist for more than 2,000 population. In the South American division, Buenos Aires, with a 16.7 million population in the metropolitan area, is facing a rapid secularization, especially among younger generations, who increasingly identify as atheists or agnostics. Buenos Aires has one of the most challenging baptism-to-members ratios in the world, and the Seventh-day Adventist presence in the city is made up of 28,000 members, with a ratio of 585 city population per members. In the Inter-American division, Guadalajara is one of the most challenging cities, where we have only almost 5,000 members in a city with 5.5 million, for a ratio of 1,133 city population per member. And the last one, our division here, the North American division. You can take Chicago with a metropolitan area, the metropolitan population, they are approaching to 9 million people there. Chicago is ranked as the 4th largest urban area in the English-speaking world, making it our priority as mission. Specifically, in the city of Chicago, we have only 1,646 Seventh-day Adventist members. And the ratio of our membership there is 1.669 city population per member. Friends, this is a global overview of the 3 mission windows and mission refocus in each division. And they represent not only our world challenge, but also our regional challenge that need to receive special attention. It's time to reorganize our priorities, our meetings, our agendas, our strategies, all our resources, and focus them on our mission. It's time to take on the most challenging place and people groups within our territories. I truly believe God is sending us the resources we need. Do you agree with me? God is sending us the resources we need. We can see this reality in a magazine that you see the cover on the screen. We can see the same in our financial statements. Some months ago, I was reading the Visitor magazine, the issue of May and June. This magazine is produced by our local union here, the Columbia Union. And I saw in that magazine a practical example of God's financial blessings to our church. I quote from the page 3 of that magazine, where it says 6.29% of the increase of tithe across the Columbia Union Conference from the 4th quarter of 2022 to the 4th quarter of 2023. An increase of some $10 million in that period. Membership at the same time expanded from 150,000 members to 152,000, an increase of 0.93%. God is sending the resources. Please, dear brothers and sisters, God is sending what we need for all our organizations. Are we using the resources for what they are being sent for us? Are we using them to face the most complex, global, regional, and local mission challenges? Please, if you like to take notes of some statements, you can do it now. Don't forget, the money must follow the mission, and not the mission follows the money. I have heard 2 or 3 amens. It's very motivating to me. Let me share it again. Let me state it again. The money must follow the mission, and not the mission follows the money. Amen. Thank you very much. Yes, Brother Paul, I can see your enthusiasm. This is our commitment of all of us. The mission follows the money. In 1907, near to the end of her ministry, Ellen White appealed to the leaders, pastors, and members of your church. And she said, the time has come when we must expect the Lord to do great things for us. Look at that. Our efforts must not flag or weaken.
Yes, friends, that is so true. That is so true, and I agree with the executive secretary. Friends, God has blessed the church. God keeps providing for his church through the tithes and offerings, right? And the church is not lacking. The church is not lacking. But the question we are still asking is that, are the leaders properly using God's money? That is a question we are asking. You know, there are some conferences, friends, there are some conferences that are properly following the instructions and guidelines as provided by the Bible and also the spirit of prophecy as to how God's money is to be used. Some conferences are doing well. They are managing God's money well. They are using it for the right purpose. However, there are other conferences. There are some other conferences that are not managing God's money well. So I thank God that the executive secretary has reminded the leaders, has reminded them that they should use God's money for the right purpose, that they should manage God's money well. So friends, I don't know what you want to say about this, but I perfectly agree with what the executive secretary actually said about tithes and the use of tithes. I agree with him 100%. All right. Thanks for watching, friends. My name is Lawrence, and see you next time.